Hello, 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 and hello.
Hello,
Welcome,
sisters.
welcome, welcome. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. We are back, you guys, and we're doing a live recording for our two episodes. Yes, we are back for our 1 year anniversary and our season 3, I believe it is, that we are
Woohoo!
starting
It's
as
our
of today. How
anniversary.
exciting is this?
Yay.
I am so glad to be back with you guys. We have been on an extended break because life was lifing, doing what it does. But it's all right. We're back now and we are here. Welcome to our live recording for again our 1 year anniversary. Whoop, whoop. It
Whoop,
is, we've been
whoop.
doing this for a whole year, you guys, and I'm so very excited. So AM Affirmation Space podcast is what you are watching. If you are brand new to our community, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on the alert button. If you are one of our regulars, welcome back. Welcome back to our podcast. Those of you that have been around for a while, you know that this podcast was born out of another space that we were in, where we came together. We did our affirmations together. We spoke about those things that we desired. We watched each other manifest the things that we wanted in our lives in real time. So we had an opportunity to bring this into a podcast space. We seized it. Clivia, also known as hashtag her chosen story, is with me. She's been one of the hosts from the beginning. And then we have, of course, Miss Marcy of Marcy Moments, also here from the very beginning. We all have our socials. I am also known as the Affirmation Whisperer. I have a new brand called Boldly Becoming Her. You'll hear more about that. So we all have our individual things that we have going on, but collectively, we come together in this space to talk about all things women centric. I like to say that women centric, right? Because it's about us. So I've said enough. I really have said enough. We're going to open up this new year, this first year anniversary, and this new season talking about one of our favorite episodes from season 1, 2, and 3. So for me, my favorite one was the one about midlife women creating the life that they desire. So why is that one my favorite? One of my favorites? Because I am a midlifer. I am in my second act. I have an amazing opportunity to live life the way that I want to, not based on children, not based on husband, not based on being young. I'm at a place where I can activate the experience I have, the wisdom I have to truly create the life that I desire. So that is the reason why that episode is one of many of my favorites, because it reminded me that I still am alive. I was watching something the other day, and it was, oh, this morning, some movie talking about women in their midlife and how society says when we get to a certain age we're supposed to just sit down and knit, but these women were very defiant. Y'all, I had my notepad out taking some notes because I'm like, yes, be defiant, because that is not what we are supposed to do. We are to create the life that we desire. One woman went back to college to get her doctorate degree. Another woman started a brand new business. Another woman fell in love and got married again at the age of 64 or 65.
Right.
What you say now? So that's why that episode is so very good to me, because it speaks to right where I am. With that being said, Miss Marcy, what would you say your favorite episode was from last year?
So, because we cover so much stuff, I love them all. So I'm a sneak in two really, and one wasn't an episode, but um, the episode is when Shirley Ann was with us and rewriting the what was it? Rewriting the image of a woman. I forgot exactly.
Yeah.
Um, but that taught me I had to go and do another I am statement. So when I rewrote my statement, it emerged. It emerged me to me pulling to the person that I am now.
Yeah.
So and to see that written out and to speak it into life.
Mm.
Because what do? We speak kindly, we speak life, we speak abundant life in ourselves. So when I read it, it was like, oh my God. I love it. And it started off as I am God's favorite daughter. And it had a different meaning to me because of the struggles that I went through and
Mm,
still believing that God is a keeper. So that's one episode. But um, about season one, what was my favorite of all times is when we all got together, when
oh,
we all were in one room. That
Yeah.
magic, that sisterhood,
Mm-hmm.
it brought every episode literally to life.
yeah.
So that's mine.
Ooh, I don't know if I can top that. I mean, I'm gonna take piece of what Marcy said. I mean, us meeting this year has been, it was just the icing on the cake, you know? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
from hotel room, just watching Karen put her makeup on, it's like, oh, you know? And then watching Marcy ground in upstate, and it was just beautiful. Like the whole experience, meeting our producer and our lovely lady Shirley, and it was just beautiful.
Yeah.
So that was definitely one of the highlights in this year of fullness. And I posted today in regards to what this platform has done for me as an individual. Right, it has been therapy. It has been, so I can choose all the episodes when we talked about forgiveness, knowing your worth.
Yeah.
All of our topics really spoke to me as an individual. You guys don't know, but there were days before recording I was crying, and then I came on and I was in therapy and I felt good
Mm,
after. And then afterwards, I had to like thank
mm,
God, like, oh my goodness, look at what God has done in my life. Like I said, I was
yeah.
never this person to be on camera. And then here I am, co-hosted after a whole year, like a whole year, 365 days,
A
you
whole
know,
year.
52 weeks. And we didn't miss a beat. I mean, like you said, we did have time to just do our thing and reset, but not
Yeah.
52 weeks, but so much has been poured out, you know,
Yes.
and poured in. So my favorite episode, just to round it off, was one of them, the best advice you've ever been given. And for me, I remember sharing be at
Ooh.
peace. And that's an advice
Oh
that
yeah.
now I give
Mm-hmm.
to others, because we live in such a crazy world, and peace that surpasses all understanding is just a beautiful
Mm,
thing. And the world needs peace right now, you know, in different ways. So be at
it
peace.
does.
Yes.
It does.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. I think I'm like, wait a minute. I should have picked that.
Right. Ah, dang, that was a good one.
Wait a
But I mean,
minute.
honestly, each and every one of our episodes are fire. So there you go.
Yeah, they are.
And
They
honestly,
are. They
before we
are.
move on, the advice that you shared, Marcy, I have been sharing that advice. Be okay with the
Okay with it.
apology that you would never get. I've been saying
Thank
that to so many people because they're like, "Oh, I need closure. Oh, I need an." Be okay with it because you may never ever get it. So,
That's
great
right.
advice.
That's
Yeah.
right. That those were words to absolutely live by. I remember when she said that, I was like, oh, oh,
Mm-hmm.
talk about a nugget. That was a huge, huge nugget that
Yeah.
I too have taken with me. So, all right, ladies, let's get to it. As my, our audience, those that are watching today, our episode today, the topic of conversation: Are women too masculine to
Mm.
rest in femininity? Are we too masculine to rest in femininity? Do we even
baby.
know what femininity is?
I had to look it up again.
What did you come up with, Miss Clivia, for the
Okay,
definition when you looked
so
it up?
Go, Marcy, go.
Go ahead, Marcy.
no, give the definition.
Yeah.
Okay, because yeah, give the people the correct definition. Then I'm gonna go into what it means.
Well, that was last week. So because I've been hearing this word so much. So when Karen dropped the topic, it's just being in that softness,
Yeah.
that soft girl era.
Hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
it in a nutshell.
Before you dive into Miss Marcy, I want to share this really quick. One of my coworkers that I worked with this week, she's a bit younger than me, and she was asking me about this guy who won't get to the point and ask her out for a date. And I was explaining to her, I said, well, maybe maybe he's shy, maybe he's been hurt. You just don't know what they're going through. Men aren't as equipped as we believe that they are. They have pain too. So I told her, I said, let me just say this: lead him with kindness. But
Right.
sometimes you just need to lead them to the door. They'll open it, but you just got to lead them with kindness, with femininity, with softness. And she looked at me like I had lost my everlasting mind. So I did explain to her what it was all about. But then, yeah. So, anyhow, Miss Marcy, what were you going to say?
So real quick, I got some stuff from Chatty, and one thing the divine feminine creates. Hold up, it creates, it nurtures, it flows.
Mm.
Mm,
Um, and it nurtures with wisdom and boldness. It owns sensational sensitivity and softness without shame. So
mm,
becoming a belly dancer, because I walked a lot in my masculine, not knowing it, but was forced to do it because of the simple fact I always had to figure it out. Even with the husband, I always had to figure it out. And actually, not until my husband, not until we separated, that's when I learned how to walk in my femininity.
Mm.
I had to depend on myself, but yet
yeah.
I was able to do it with femininity. I was able to do it with softness because I was able to forgive a lot of
Mm,
things. So when I see this topic, because it comes up as, and it only comes up for black women to be in their masculine, because yeah, we're gonna, that's another subject. But when we walk in our femininity, things happen, but also we have to have that balance of femininity and masculinity. There has to be that balance, that yin and that yang. Sometimes, yes, I gotta get this couch and I gotta put it myself. But then again, other times it's like, you know what, I'm gonna ask, hey sweetheart, can you help me with this couch? Can you help me move this couch? I might not help you move the couch, but what I will do is, what you need. You want some
Glass of water.
lemonade?
Right.
Water. You want some
Yes.
lemonade? Do you want some alcoholic beverage? Let me get you a sandwich to go with this after you've done this. So after
mm-hmm.
you've shown the man has shown his masculinity, I can come in and then I can show my appreciation in my feminine way.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, our femininity can make the masculine work a little harder. It can make the masculine work a little harder. Um, and we have to be careful, because this is really, this could be a whole series, honestly.
Yeah. It
Mhm.
could.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but we have to be careful of making sure our yin and our yang, we got to give us a little bit more yin and let that yang go down a little bit more, which is be the masculinity. Because how can I say it? You rest better when you don't have to walk in your masculinity as
Mm-hmm.
much.
That's so true.
And
Let
but
me let me share something really quick here. Some notes that I shared last week. Masculine versus feminine energies is what you're saying. One over the other. So when we talk about the masculine energies. That's that energy where Miss Marcy stated taking charge, making all of the decisions, and not so. And you can do the same thing for in your feminine energy, but it's the energy that defines it being masculine or feminine. Masculine being more of a, for lack of a better term, a roar, as opposed to a gentle statement, right? How much energy do you have to emit in order to come from that masculine perspective, that I mean what I say, do it now, do it this way only? How much of that do you have, that masculinity do you have to tap into to come across that way, versus coming across with that feminine energy? You're just as in control, you're just as meaningful in what you're saying, but that energy that goes along with it is that energy that comes across easily. Being a feminine person, feminine body parts, and all the things that goes along with femininity, um, you're coming across in that way that is more natural. I believe personally we had to learn to be masculine. It's a learned behavior, not something that comes from us naturally. We had
Hmm.
to learn, but because we've seen so many examples of the masculine energy growing up, we almost just adopt it right away, right? Look at the little girl with her daddy, little 2 year old, telling her daddy, be quiet. I say, be quiet. Why? Because she's seen that, right? And people receive it as being funny, so she think that's okay to do, as opposed to her operate or looking at her mom or her grandmother or her sister operating with softness, with
Hmm.
gentility
Nurturing.
for
Hmm.
herself and then for others. How many times have we been that model for others, for the other feminine and males in our lives, to showing them that putting ourselves last is the way to do things, as opposed to putting ourselves first and being gentle with ourselves, getting that rest that we need, right? That's going to come up in our next topic. So,
Hmm.
the feminine versus the masculine. Now, sometimes it's necessary for us to step into our masculine energy. But for me, I try not to stay in that energy too long,
Right.
because honestly, it's exhausting. It literally is exhausting to be in that energy for me on an extended period. Now, if the moment requires it, understand that I'm quite capable, and aren't we all, to step into that energy. But I'm electing to be in my softness, to be gentle with myself, to take it easy on myself, because what am I doing? I'm setting the example for others of how to treat me, because I'm not operating in the masculine energy. But to rest in your feminine energy, what does that mean? What do you guys, what's your opinion? What does it mean to rest in your feminine energy as opposed to the masculine? Or is it possible to rest in your feminine energy as part of your existence?
I think for me, it has been a journey, right? And it goes back to being married to a certain individual where you expect certain things. You expect to have a plan for the future, right? And trying to rest in that given feminine energy, it was like a and again, this is the examples I have to give because that's what I lived. It
Mm-hmm.
was like me trying not to be that person. Let me put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have to like hold my tongue to say, for the future, this is what we should do. This is what, let's take a trip. Let's open a savings account. And I'm like, no, because that's supposed to be, so this is me in my head. That's supposed to be his job. Like even though we can sit at a table and plan it together, but there was no leadership. So then I had to be that leader, quote unquote, leader in that family. And
Mm-hmm.
having that mindset from then, and then like you said, that little girl seeing her dad say certain things or do certain things, I saw my dad lead the family. So I'm like, okay, now I'm
Right.
wearing both shoes. So raising two children, now I have to have this sternness, this let's do this, let's do that. And then now being in a relationship is like, okay, Clivia, you can't just don't try to be the boss. Like, hear him out. Let's see what he's saying, right? But then it
Mm-hmm.
might come off as too strong. It might come off as defensive. It might come off as, but
Yeah.
that's what I was used to for 7+ years. So of course it goes with growing. It goes with being able to let go of self and rest in that what is
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be normal for us as women. It's really turning the switch off. But again,
Yeah.
it takes time. Yeah.
Miss Marcy?
So, one thing I wanted to say, why is this even a question? Is it possible to live in your feminine as Black women? Because we don't ask white women, is it possible for them to live in their
Mm-mm.
feminine?
Right.
No.
No,
Why
we
us?
don't. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But the sad
let me
part of
say this. Let me say this. I'm glad you asked that. I'm gonna let you continue. It says strong Black women. That's a trope that was created for us, that supposedly defines just how resilient we are and how
Mm.
strong we are.
Going through the
It
struggle
creates
and
an
surviving.
right,
Yeah.
right. It creates an internalized pressure to be constantly resilient, self-sufficient, which may prevent Black women from embracing their softer, more vulnerable side. So the societal norms, again, being
Mm-hmm.
placed on us of their view of us, and them trying to tell us how to operate, it
Mm-hmm.
being masculine. Go ahead, Miss Marcy.
Right.
So with that, on that note, Kron, that's a subject for a podcast all by itself. That statement, um, and I'm not even going to touch it right now because I I definitely want that to be a podcast, just all by
I'll take notes.
itself. but but the thing about it is, um, in my big age,
Mm-hmm.
femininity
Yeah.
is first.
Yeah.
So I remember the same woman who told me, it, be okay with the apology that you would never get, Mayasa. She said, and she's so powerful, but yet she's so feminine. She said, first of all, how do you throw things into the trash can? Do you just throw things in a trash can?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you
Mm-hmm.
just place them in the trash can? I'm like, what? She said, how do you cut on the lights? Do you flick the lights real hard? Or do you just gently cut on the lights? And it was just like those subtle things
Yeah.
that I had to retrain myself to do. Then it goes into a little then it goes into um just this is a very simple thing, and I love to do it. When I take a shower, and as I say my prayers in the shower, I have a big thing of honey, and every morning I put the honey, as you know, as I pray, the honey is on me because why? The honey sweetens me up. Okay.
Mm.
The honey, as I put the honey on my feet, I walk with the ancestors protecting me. As I put the honey on my knees is hurting. I'm healed. These knees are healed. And my root chakra, my sacral, my solar plex, my heart chakra, my throat chakra,
Yeah.
my third eye, my head, my outer aura with the honey, because I sweeten everything up. And that's how I live now. That's how I walk. And that's how I get to walk in my femininity. And I do see how my masculine has decreased. Even when I'm, out on this dating scene, and you get some of these jokers that's a little bit, and I just come back and be like, oh, sweetheart, well, let's talk about that. And because it'll be like, what you say? What, Slim? Nah, this is not what. But now it's so
Let's
sweet.
talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk about it. In my what is it? My mental health advocate voice and my mental health. But now I just laugh. I just grin at myself like, girl, look at you, because you would have cussed them out and removed them, not just deleted never again. But with my femininity and my softness, I can now talk to you a little longer, and you can understand certain things. Now I will cut you off. Let's not get it twisted. But I don't have to do it mad. And when I do it mad, if I do it mad, that means I'm still in my masculine, angry self. But no, just learn, and then even just change it. Your body, instead of being like, "What you say, huh, sweetie? What you say?" No, that's not what I was talking about. Let's talk about it. So, and
Yes,
then
I have
it's
so
like,
much to
I ain't got
learn.
time for all that. But you do. But you do. You do.
So let me share this. Our
I have so much to
producers
learn.
Our producer has put in the chat, femininity must always show no matter what. That's what makes the character of a woman. He said that on his channel lates. Oh, I love that. Did y'all get that part? Did y'all hear that? What I just said?
Femininity must always show no matter what. That's what make the character. Okay, yeah.
Yes, a viewer said that, she says. Okay, cool. So I don't know if y'all could hear me earlier, but I couldn't hear y'all and my camera went out and said, but we're live. These
I
things
saw you
happen,
ghosted
right?
us for a
Yeah, you
minute.
was like,
Listen, we live and we celebrating, so it's okay.
Exactly.
You're back.
It is okay. It is okay because I am still here. So let me make this final point. I don't want to get to the I want to get to the reflective point that it's up on the screen. So let me state this first. So the reflective point is thank you, LaKay, for the congratulations. Thank you. I'm seeing the
Thank
comments. I
you.
wasn't seeing them earlier. Coach Don,
oh
Okay.
yay!
yes.
Thank you for joining. Yay! Thank you so much.
That looks like an upgrade
Thank
to
you,
me.
listeners, for being here. I love it. So the prompt, it was up earlier, but I don't see it now. But the reflective prompt is, yeah, what does femininity mean to you? Do you feel it is something you are allowed to express freely? Or do you feel societal pressures to express certain aspects of your femininity? Let me
To
say this.
suppress. Mm.
Yeah, allow me to say this. Femininity is not a one way, it looks one way on all people. You define what your femininity looks like. Because what softness and gentility looks like for me could be something completely different for you. So you decide and design what your femininity looks like and feels like. Miss Marcy said she's with the honey when she's in the shower. I was like, yes, girl.
Yes,
Yes. But maybe it's for you, it's in a tub with some milk or a bath bomb
milk
or
and
a
honey.
shower with the eucalyptus going or whatever you define it to be. See, I believe and I stand on this 10 toes down. From as far as I can remember back, society has been telling women to what to do, how to do, when to do. Like we couldn't vote until we were given permission. We couldn't
Mm-hmm,
get
mm-hmm.
credit cards till we were given permission. All these things, and then it shifted from just women to telling black women how to exist. We couldn't wear our hair a certain way. We couldn't dress a certain way because society says it's not professional or it's not this or no, don't come to church like that. Well, you know what? Time out for that. In my former affirmation room that I had at 6:30, where these ladies were there with me, one of the things I was said that we are responsible for telling ourselves who we are, whose we are, and how we will exist. Because when we walk out the door, when we get on the phone, when we get on these conference calls, the world is so busy telling us how to exist that
Mm-hmm.
if you let the world tell you how to be, you're going to always be changing. Not
Mm-hmm.
because it's a season of change,
Right.
because they are dictating to you how to be, how to think, how to speak. Your femininity is yours to define. It's
Mm-hmm.
not mine. It's not Miss Clivia's, not Miss Marcia. It's yours to define. But you know what you have to do? You got to take ownership of that. You
Mm-hmm.
have to take ownership of your responsibility of what does my femininity look like? What is femininity? Do I even know how to be feminine?
Yeah.
And there is so we're in an information age, y'all. There's so much information out there. There really is no reason why you can't start the journey of researching that with your girlfriend circle. Miss Marcy has an amazing girlfriend circle of about 1,000 people, but still, and I say that because she has wonderful women in her circle. So with her people, she has people she'll reach out to for one thing and others. If your circle is not so big, you don't have a circle at all, start forming a circle. Start forming a circle. So with that reflective point that is up, I do encourage you to answer those questions for yourself. Answer those questions for yourself when it comes to your femininity because ladies, I believe that if we're not able to define how we want to live, our living is in vain.
Mm-hmm.
We're living based on what someone else wants us to do, how they want us to act. And when it all comes down to it, at the end of the day, you are responsible for you. Are you owning that? Are you realizing that, oh, wait, because there are many that have passed and gone. And in those final moments, they're thinking what they could have done differently. Don't let that be you. Don't let that be you. I think we got another reflective point that we can bring up in the meantime. Miss Clivia, Miss Marcy, you have some points that you want to share?
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk about, being that strong black woman, right? And
Mm.
then coming off as so aggressive. And I remember there was a song actually used to play in the other space. Oh my goodness. It talked about when we talk intellectual, right? And then somebody say, "Oh, you speak so," and it happened to me. It's funny, that you speak like a white girl. Like, "Oh, you talk white." No, I'm intelligent, And so I used to do
Yeah.
customer service, and it was an older lady, and it's so funny. The other day somebody asked me if I ever experienced racism, and I said no, not even since I moved here. It's been a culture shock, but never experienced. But in my head it wasn't racism, or oh, you speak nice for a black woman, but that's what it was told to me. I was talking and she was like, "Clivia, I must tell you, you speak very well for a black person." And I said, "Do I?" And when I told, and again, this was the job where I was the only black person, when I told my manager, the VP, they were shocked. They even had a whole training about, these type of comments, but I didn't even take it to that level. But they said, "Has she not heard Oprah? Has she not heard Michelle Obama? Don't she have neighbors that are black?" Like, we are who we are. And people think that, okay, because we're black, we should be just, because and what she explained, and she apologized. And she said, "I'm not saying that you can't talk a certain way, but I haven't met someone that speaks like you speak so soft." And it was just interesting. And again, I didn't take it to the level of, oh, she's being racist, but maybe she lives in a bubble. Maybe she doesn't, maybe she isn't exposed. And maybe she's just used to seeing maybe some black woman just being so hardcore. But again, maybe they've been through something and they don't know better. Maybe they haven't tapped
Mm-hmm.
into the affirmation space, so they don't know how to speak nice to themselves or others. So that's what I wanted to just share in regards
Yeah.
to that label of mad, angry black woman versus
Mm.
we can speak just as eloquent as anyone else, regardless of our melanin. Yeah.
Exactly. 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 Come on, Miss Marcy. I can see it bubbling up in you. What you got to say?
So, because
You got a whole
because
series
this
loaded right
new journey of femininity that I love walking in, um, and I just got a few points. It says nurturing is wisdom and boldness, um, wisdom and boldness, and being in your nurturing. I mean, in your femininity state. Now, one thing I love about this new journey of my femininity that I'm in is you get to think things out. Honestly, when we as women are working in our masculine, we pretty much, how can I say, we make quick decisions that usually don't pan out later on. But when we get to walk in our femininity, we take our time, we think about it. It's a process. And with the process, we make better
now.
decisions.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And these decisions and outcomes make enrich our lives.
Yeah.
And then the soft, I want a soft life.
That's good.
Listen, and I'm not afraid to say it. I want a soft life because y'all automatically give the soft life to other people, the others. Okay, we
The
just say the
others.
others. Yes, the others. I heard Michelle Obama. She was talking about how they used to other them. So we're going to other them. So the soft life is granted to the others, because when they cry, everybody's supposed to be like, "Who?" It's sad, but when us as Black women cry,
We're weak.
because society has put strong Black women while they crying, they should get over it. Yeah, no. I want a life of ease, and a life of ease puts me in a life of femininity, and
I
that
love it.
life is a life for me. I do things different. Um, I even park more gentle because
I love that.
I even I even
You
you
don't
know
blow your horn no more?
no, I never was a horn blower because I hate that.
Okay.
But just because I've always had SUVs. And what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm throwing it in the gear. I'm slamming the door. I'm because I'm in a rush because I'm late. Um,
Mm-hmm.
taking my time. Because
Yeah.
when I take my time, when I get to my destination, I can breathe.
Right. And you're
And when
safe.
I breathe, like if I'm in a rush, like you're gonna get the short end of me. I'm still gonna be late. Let's not get it twisted. But I'm gonna be later because I'm gonna be taking.
Wait, Miss Marcy, our producer said you just run them over gently now.
Yes, be like, oh, I ran you over. I'm sorry. Oh,
Listen. Have you ever felt that embracing your vulnerability or resting in your femininity might make you seem weak or less capable? How has that affected your self-image? Let me read that one more time for
Mhm.
everybody. How have you ever felt that embracing your vulnerability or resting in your femininity might make you seem weak or less capable? How has that affected your self image? I think that is a fabulous question to round us out with our reflection points. We may not be able to answer this fully, but
Mhm.
just reading the question itself kind of ignited something in me because in our culture, when we were soft, when we when we came across as soft, there were opportunities where that were seized by others to attempt to take advantage of us because we were electing to come across soft and quiet and gentle and not so aggressive, which in turn say, see, that's why I do that. That's why I have to treat you the way I do, because when I try to be nice to you, you want to take advantage of me.
Mm. It goes both ways. Yeah. Yeah.
It
mhm.
does.
Yeah.
Because when you decide, Miss Marcy said, I'm taking my time, I'm going to be late, but I'm going to be gently late. That being taken the wrong way, well, she don't really care. No, I care, but about me. And I'm not going to put myself through that stress because you feel I should operate in a different way. But the self-image of operating in your femininity, it is one I believe that question, those two questions alone, operating in my femininity, does it give me a feeling of being vulnerable? I don't think so. For me, it doesn't, because I'm just as smart, I'm just as strong, I'm just as capable in my feminine energy as I would be in a masculine energy if that's how I chose to operate. Operating in, I'm going to even say that differently, not operating, but existing, living in my feminine energy does not take away from my intellect, my ability, my
Mhm.
strengths. It in no way takes away from that. It's just how I decide to exude that. I want to exude softness for me. It's not about those that are observing me. It's about me wanting to feel good and take my time and be gentle with myself. And when you, Miss Marcy, you said about I mean, driving your car, I just thought as I was backing the SUV into the parking spot today, I felt so accomplished because I did it in two moves.
That's
Whoop,
right.
whoop, in there.
Yes,
Two
yes,
moves. I
driver.
felt so accomplished. But then I thought about it, and I literally had to be very rough with the car to get it in there. Now, could I have been a little more gentle and do the same thing? Maybe, but at that moment, I didn't feel like being gentle. I wanted to quickly get in there so I can get upstairs to this room, right? Switching on a light switch, I have found myself aggressively, boom, flipping on the light switch. And I'm thinking, well, why did you have to exert so much energy? Because the task I was doing before that, I was like really trying to get it done. So I continued with that energy as opposed to dropping it once I finished that task so that I could continue to be soft. But no, I carried that energy all the way through the light switch. If I would have hit it any further, the whole thing would have come off.
Mhm.
If I would have hit it any harder, should I say. So being weak, being vulnerable because you are deciding to exist in a feminine way? No. What are your thoughts on these, ladies? And this is going to be our final prompt for this topic.
I'm actually thinking about motherhood, right? We talked about in a past episode where we had to just be a strong mom. We have to show up for our children. And I remember even, Karen, I remember you shared and we related on that where your son maybe wanted a hug. And you're like, not right now. And then I shared my son. Sometimes he just wants to be embraced, right? And
Yeah.
understand how important it is. And at the time, it's like, no, rough him up, or boys can't cry or they shouldn't cry. Yes, they should have a level of masculinity, right? And being a mom, raising a boy, and you've done it. Marcy, you've done it. So now I'm mimicking some of those traits where, yes, I can be strong for him. I can't, what's the word? Not to say I can't raise him as a man because I believe in a village, I believe in community, but also I have to nurture him. I have to show him this is what love is. It's not, it doesn't have to be rough, it doesn't have to be loud. And it goes back
Yeah.
to that piece where I can react a certain way, which sometimes I still do. Then I have to woosah and be like, I could have done better. Right. So it's the
Yeah.
same thing with nurturing your children and then nurturing these relationships with a man, your partner, or even with people that we have to deal with every day. It's according to how we react, not
Yeah.
basing it off of our day, not basing it. And again, Marcy, you shared it where sometimes we have to now stop and think, should I respond that way or should I respond in my mental health advocate voice? Like, let's talk about it. I apologize for offending you. How can we move forward? So it's all
Yeah.
in the learning. Yeah. And not showing that weakness, but showing that's our strength. And there's beauty in that. Mhm.
Yeah, and what I think is this question for a Black woman, um, embracing your vulnerability and resting in your feminine uh, might make you seem weak. I think that's just the ploy to make you say, "No, I'm weak." That's a ploy right there, sweetheart. I'm going to rest in this femininity, okay? And how does it affect my self image? I'm amazing. What can affect my self image when
Yeah.
you're amazing? And when you walk in that amazingness and say, I can't walk in my amazing self being masculine all of the time. I have to walk in this amazing Marcy being showing my feminine energy. You don't see weakness. When you see me, you see she a tough cookie, but
Yeah.
well, she's a tough cookie,
Yeah.
therefore she's sweet.
Mm.
She's someone
Like
that
honey.
I want to sit and be in her presence. I
Hmm.
want to smell her
Mm-hmm.
perfume, and those are more things that I say I love about walking in my femininity, because when I walk out the house, that less it's one of those I'm going to get some gas, but I'm gonna smell good. My face might not be on, but when you walk past me, you're gonna be like, "Oh my, she smells
Sweet.
delicious." And that's
Yeah.
another thing that's part of my self image is I love the compliment. People be like, "Oh my God, you smell so good." Like I've
Mm.
had people follow me, like, "You smell so delicious. I just want to follow you." Be like, "Okay,
I do want to say something after you finish,
yes."
before we move on. Karen,
Ron, you turned dark. Come on to the light, K Ron.
while Karen get that together, I'm gonna distract the audience who's watching.
Right.
So, you talking, Marcy, and it just brings me back again. My sister calls me a daddy's girl, my daddy's favorite, which I don't think, but that was once upon a time. But I remember playing ball with my dad, right? I remember just putting on sneakers. You can catch me in heels as a sexy, fine Black woman, or you could catch me in sneakers with loose jeans and a baggy shirt, right? It doesn't change who Clivia is. And there's been I started seeing it a lot last year where there was photos of like a queen in heels on one foot and then sneakers on the next. And it just shows there is such a beautiful balance to that. And that's me. You can catch me in heels, maybe not as often as before. Now I wear more flats or wedges where it's a little more, I can stand on my feet a little longer. Or you can catch me in sneakers, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? And if my son wants to play ball and he passes the ball to me, you'll see me make a shot. It doesn't mean that, you know what I'm saying? So there's such a beautiful balance to that.
it's a beautiful thing. So you know what? So I love me some heels, but I told you I messed up my knee. So
Hmm.
a couple of weeks ago I did a photo shoot and I hadn't had on heels in since the beginning of
For
the
months.
summer.
Right.
Messed my knee up even. I messed my knee up more. Okay. Trust me, I love me a heel. I have literally one shoe rack that holds at least 50 shoes and
Oh,
then nothing but heels. And guess what? They gotta be over there into this knee heels. But I love me a tennis shoe. Okay.
welcome
I'm
back.
so mad that the that sale they had at on Prime, my little tennis shoes was 19.99 and I ain't get them, so they was gone. So I'm mad about that. So, but still, even in my heels and ball gown, in my tennis shoes, and my ball cap,
Hmm.
Yeah.
I still can exude my femininity
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
it's not the way I look. It's the my inner
Right.
self confidence,
Exactly.
Exactly.
and that's
Exactly.
what we have to. Especially we have to teach our younger black
Young.
ladies
Yeah.
that that this femininity, it comes from within. It's not the lashes, it's not the
Right.
hair coming down to your butt, it's not showing skin, but it's what's within. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is the classy woman within
Exactly.
that gets to come out.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want to get to this last question before we get to our affirmations. And thank you, those that are in the listening audience, for chiming in with your questions and letting us know that you are there. The question is, do you ladies find it easy or hard to slip in and out of your femininity? Do you find it easy or hard to slip in and out of your femininity? So let me just quickly say, I find it to be something I have to be aware of, cognizant of. If I'm not thinking about it, because it's a learned behavior to be in the masculine energy, I will be in that energy without even realizing it, because again, it's a learned behavior. But when I feel my body being tense, it's like, whoo, wait a minute, what's going on? I decide to release that and step back into, not slip because it's not an accident. I intentionally step back into my feminine energy because it feels better, because I'm so relaxed. I'm easygoing. I'm not all worked up about everything because I feel like I got to do it all. No, no, I choose to step. I'm not going to say slip. I'm going to say step back into my feminine energy. My children have been very instrumental with that, knowing that my son someday will have a girlfriend or a wife. I want him to know what it's like to experience a woman operating, living, existing in her feminine energy,
Hmm.
showing him how I love him in a gentle way. I
Hmm.
say, well, because I feed you, or da 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 da, that shows I love you. Okay, but not really. I want to have an outward display to him, to my daughter, even. She's an adult, a good grown adult now. I talk to her like we're friends and show her respect that she's due just as she does it for me. And that too is a feminine way of approaching, instead of like you guys may have experienced growing up. Even when you got to be grown, mama was still, yeah, mama, mama. Mama was still bringing down the hammer, and you had to put some distance. Like, oh, mama, I'm not 10 no more. That's not necessary. When you get to a point of, like Miss Marcy said, it's from the inside out, operating, living, existing in your that face, Miss Marcy. Yes, girl, I need you. Living, existing in your feminine energy is from the inside out. When you've done it enough time and you really have gotten to a point of releasing that energy and only tapping in when you need to, because living in your femininity is how you live. You have to literally turn on the switch to be masculine, but you quickly turn it off because that's not comfortable. That's what I'll say to that. Miss
Right.
Marcy and Miss Clivia, before we get to our affirmations, what do you guys have to say about that?
I totally agree. I totally agree with that. It's really that switch, and it's a choice, right? Whether it's trying to prove a point, whether it's you can't lift that couch, your back and your knee ain't good. Just let the man do it, right? Like I have a neighbor, she's not a male, but she's masculine. There's times when I'm like, should I just call her over here since she want to play that role? So I definitely
I
it's a
know.
choice. It's definitely a choice. It's a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely a choice. Uh, where we have been taught to stay in the masculine, and now, because so many things society's told us how we should be,
Hmm.
but now that we get to walk in our femininity, and honestly, us walking in our femininity, we heal.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
we
I know I could
we
testify to that. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
we heal when we walk in
Hmm.
our femininity. And that's why the society has always told us to be the strong Black woman, the resilient Black woman. Because
Yeah.
when we're strong and resilient, why we need a man? So then that makes us make the man feel less than.
Inferior. Yeah.
So as we embrace our femininity,
Hmm.
we I don't, because I'm not slipping. I'm not gonna slip. Now
Correct.
I
Right.
might have to step on over to my masculine side for a moment and and handle this real quick, because either it may one of my male friends can't handle it, or any male partner of mine or persons can't handle it at the moment, but I'm still capable of handling it. And when I come back over, I want to take that shower with my honey. Okay? Because what you will not do is trap me to live in my masculine and think it's okay. That
Right.
you can't do that anymore. But that
Yeah.
also comes from healing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It does.
You got to heal some childhood traumas.
Yes.
You got to
Yes.
release
Yes.
some
Take those
Yes.
walls down.
control.
Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
a whole nother. That's a whole nother series too.
Release the
Whole nother
control.
episode. So thank you, ladies, so much. And my final statement on this is it literally is a choice, because you've heard each of us say this, choosing to exist in our feminine energy as a way of living. And when those occasions come about that we feel the masculine energy is suited for that, we will step into that masculine energy. But it's just to handle whatever needs to be handled. If I need to pick up this heavy box, or I need to come across a little more forcefully to get something done, then I'm going to do that. But then my way of living is in a feminine energy, softness and gentility, taking care of myself, self care from the inside out. Self care from the inside out really does um, create that feminine way of existing. You don't have to do things so harshly, throwing things and not even realizing it. You literally don't realize just how harsh and hard you're being, because you're in that energy so much. You're picking up things and slamming them down. Don't even realize you're slamming them down, or
Mhm.
slamming the door so hard. Don't
Mhm.
even realize it, because you're so accustomed to being in that energy. And I challenge the audience to this one thing before we in our affirmations are next. Pay attention for just an hour of how you are operating, doing just everyday tasks. Pay attention if you are applying unnecessary force, if you're holding things so tightly in your hands, you are stepping with such force. I mean, really just banging your feet on the ground, walking hard, right?
I want to say something real quick.
Go ahead, go
For
ahead.
the men, right? And I think men feel they need to put on an extra layer of masculinity because of that. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Yes.
like they shouldn't have to, but then they feel I gotta be strong. That's what my ex-husband used to. He's like, I am the man. I am your husband. You shouldn't even have to say that, right? You don't have to try to prove that you're a man. If you're a man, you're a man. So
Well, but
yeah.
then also, what are we exuding? Because if we're coming across with that masculine energy,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, well, dang, I got to top her because she's already here. So I got to come here to top
Yeah.
her with this masculine. And we're not
If we're
responsible for how
balanced,
he,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
We're not responsible for how he decides to exist. But when you're in a relationship, there is something that we try to balance things out. I don't believe in 50-50. So back to the challenges, just for an hour,
Mm-hmm.
pay attention to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How are you living in that hour?
Yeah.
Are you being very intent? Very, I mean, when I say intentional, like you're just doing things with so much force, so much intention that it's like, oh my God, did I really have to hold that bottle so tight? Did I
Mm-hmm.
really have to slam that door so hard? Did I really have to do this, that, or the other? And I bet you, I guarantee you, you will identify some areas where you can apply softness and
Love it.
gentility.
Love it.
So,
And can I just jump in?
yes.
When people ask you if you need some help, like instead of carrying all 10 of the bags in at one time, and somebody asks you, hey, you need some help? No, 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 I got it. I got it. You need some help.
Yeah.
Let somebody carry
Yes.
those bags.
Mm-hmm.
And open the
Exactly.
door for you.
It's not going to kill you to say, you know what, here, thank you. I appreciate you. Pray for them. Pray that God just gives whoever just
Mm-hmm.
overflow of abundance.
Yeah, yeah. And I can almost hear people saying, yeah, but you don't know what people up. I'm not even going to get into that because that's a whole nother subject.
Right.
But
Praise that. Thank
when
you.
right, when the opportunity presents, ladies, let's seize it. You'll be
Yeah.
surprised.
Yes.
You really will be surprised. All right, y'all, let's get to these affirmations that we have for this episode. I love this episode.
This
So
is
my
good.
affirmation is I release what no longer serves me. I trust that letting go is the first steps to receiving the new blessings life has in store for me. Amen.
I walk in divine feminine with ease and grace. I flow in the power without resistance, aligned with love, wisdom, and abundance.
My strength and softness coexist. I'm
Mhm.
worthy of rest, love, and living fully in my femininity.
Yes. And our
Thank
scripture for
you.
this episode is
She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come.
ooh, even the way you
Number
said that was just so feminine.
Yes,
Ooh,
it
wait.
flowed.
It
Hey.
did. So, ladies, even to gentlemen, we are going to wrap this episode up. But before I get to that one statement that we say, I want to say this: you are worthy of living a gentle life.
yes.
You are worthy of living a gentle life. This world is going, it's doing what it's doing. But what we are absolutely in control of is ourselves outside of void of what's going on around us. Thank you, Miss Coach. Miss Coach, Coach Don. Thank you so much. We are in control of ourselves. You can decide what you will or will not do. Let me say that again. You can decide what you will or will not do. And with that said, you are your first priority. What they need to do, Miss Marcy?
So act like it.
Act like
Act like
it.
it.
Act like it and then subscribe.
Do that part. Do that part. Subscribe. You see that little button right there?
Oh, can we put
Subscribe.
up our QR code, producer?
Oh yes, put that up too. And
Scan the
if
QR
you
code on the
yes,
Link
screen.
tree.
screenshot that and share that so that you can
On
join
your
us.
phone.
Yes,
Scan.
absolutely, absolutely. So thank you all for listening. We're going to take a short break because we're coming back for our second episode. So if you need to go run and do some things, do so. But or
5 minutes.
send this, yeah, for 5 minutes. Send this off to someone else and tell them to join us for the second episode because it's just as enlightening as this episode, y'all. All right, bye bye. Be back in five
Happy
minutes.
anniversary.
Yes, woo woo.
It's
1 year.
your
Woo woo woo
anniversary.
woo woo.
Hey. Anniversary.
And it's your anniversary.
Mm-hmm. Anniversary.
All right, all right, all right. We are back. For those of us that are just joining us now, we are about to begin our second episode. But welcome to our 1 year anniversary of the
One
AM
year.
Affirmations podcast. We have been doing this for 1 year. I don't know about my co host, but that just blows my mind to
Yes.
realize we've been doing this for 1 year. We took a break just before the fall, I think it was. Oh no, just before the summer, we took a break and came back here ready for our new episodes and such. To know that we are now have completed 1 year for
Officially
this
today.
podcast. I mean, it
Yes.
just it's I almost don't know. I'm like, are you sure? Did we really do a year? I can't. I'm like, oh my god. And when I say this has been one amazing year, I have grown so much in this time. Thank you, Miss Dawn. Thank you so much. I have grown so much personally and emotionally with this platform that we have here. It has just been amazing. Miss Clivia, Miss Marcy, both have come here and they brought their energies here with mine. And these three women that are on this podcast have talked about some amazing subjects. We have done a fantastic job. We are
Yes.
growing this community and we are loving what we have done. And Miss Marcy brought something, no, Miss Clivia brought something up in the last episode about us. We've known each other for going on 5 years now, I want to say, about
Four.
4 years,
2021. Yeah.
something
I was
like
a
that.
little later. You guys knew each other first, and then
Right.
I
Yes. I
came in.
think about five for me and Miss Marcy, I want to
Mhm.
say. And for me and Miss Clivia, it's been four. So we physically met for the first time a few months ago, a couple months ago, physically. But because we have been in each other's energy, and I literally mean that in each other's energy, we have been on these platforms, that platform, other platforms with other women. We've gotten to know each other. So when we physically met, it was just a matter that last piece. We were already familiar with each other.
Yeah.
Miss Clivia mentioned about watching me make my put on my makeup. I didn't realize she was watching me. But okay, girl, okay. And Miss Marcy, when we all were in the hotel room together, it was the five of us in the room together, along with our producer, Miss the wonderful,
Sleepover.
amazing, the talented Charlene Brown that's in the background. All of us were there together for the first time. And when I say amazing, when you are with other women who you trust, who you can depend on, you never really had to ask for anything, but they were always there, like my son says, in the clutch, ready for you when you need something. That's what is happening between the three, well, the four of us. Our producer, she won't come on camera, but she back there.
She's back.
She's back there. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting us over this year. Thank you for continuing to support us. Those that has meant the world to us. I was looking at our numbers today and I'm like, whoa, I didn't realize we had that many people following us. And we're looking
Mhm.
in this year for that number to double. So please be sure that you share this podcast, that you comment on this podcast, because we're looking for that feedback. So welcome, welcome,
Yes.
welcome, 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 and welcome. My co-host, the wonderful, the beautiful, the amazing Miss Clivia Allen, also
Me?
known as hashtag Her Chosen Story and Chosen 31. She is the founder and creator of such. Love having her with. And then, of course, the fabulous. And she says, I am amazing. So I'm going to call her the Miss Amazing Marcy of Marcy Moments. All of us can be found on all the platforms. Wherever you go, you can find us. So make sure you follow us, make sure you support us. And we're going to get into today's topic. And I think we forgot to give Charlene our affirmations.
We're
I
good
think we
on it. We're
forgot.
good. We're
Well,
good.
okay. I
We're
think we
good.
forgot to do that. Anyhow, this is live, y'all. So anyhow, we're going to get into today's topic. And this is a topic that I know all of us have a lot to say about. And it is black fatigue.
Mm.
Black fatigue. What is that? Being black and tired. That's what it is. Being black and tired.
Right.
That's what it is. the world that we live in right now, there are all kind of pressures for people of different backgrounds. We are not saying we're the only ones
Right.
experiencing fatigue, because there's
Yeah.
fatigue of all kinds, right? If you are gay, there's a fatigue for that. If you are Latin, there's a fatigue for that. If you are a woman, there's a fatigue for that. If you are a black woman, there's a fatigue for that. But as a black American, and being a black American, the fatigue just seems to be exponentially greater during these years. I have never experienced such emotional fatigue that was externally fed into me as I have in these past 5 years, 5 to 10 years. Never have I. And I can tell you that it had it not been for my spiritual life and my self-care practices, mentally, I don't know what condition I would be in. I really don't know what meant I wouldn't be in the state I'm in now.
Hmm.
Because waking up in the morning, going through your day, at night, just constantly being bombarded with the pressures of society that they attempt, and when I say they, that is a general term. I'm not talking of anyone specifically. I am talking about those that are the authors of so much chaos. I am talking about those.
Hmm. Hmm.
So to have that, if you're not careful, which is why I chose to limit how much I'm on social media, which is why I chose to watch one newscast, get what I needed, and turn it off. Because if for me, being very intentional about my mental health is something I have moved to the top of the list, my priority list. I went through a trauma over in that is starting to dissipate in these past few months. But that trauma, along with everything else that was going on, I had to own that I needed to do things differently. I could not operate the same way emotionally and mentally as I was prior to experiencing the trauma. In doing so, I experienced an emotional, a mental episode that I don't can't say that I had ever experienced before, and that's having an anxiety attack. I cannot tell you that I've ever had it before that particular moment, and didn't realize it was an anxiety attack until speaking with you ladies and some others that shared with me, well, that sounds like an anxiety attack to me. Multiple people said that, and I went ahead and took ownership of it because, okay.
All right. I don't know what happened, but let's continue.
Right.
Um,
So
Black
as she was
fatigue.
talking about, yeah,
Go ahead.
like anxiety attack and black fatigue with the pressures of society. Like you said, everybody is fatigued, but it's especially heavier for the black society because as they try to delete us and erase us, our history,
Hmm.
then you trying to delete me as a person. And now a lot of people feel as if they can say what they've been thinking
Hmm.
all their lives, and they can say it very boldly.
Yeah.
You think it's okay, um, and it's the fatigue of me not beating you. um, so that's a fatigue all in itself,
Yeah.
not taking you to the king. So exactly. Yes, the dog said they agree with me. Thank you, Dad. Going to thank you. But black fatigue is real, and I'm not going to say because being a black woman, I can tell you the fatigue I have is like we said in the earlier that masculine, feminine. We have to. They want us to stay in our masculine, and that's tiring because we were meant to be soft. We were meant to do things with ease. But when you try to tell me to stay in my masculine, that's an act, and that means I have to pretend. But when I'm in my feminine, I don't have to pretend. So that's
Mm-hmm.
exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
That's exhausting. K. Ron, you're back.
I am, and I don't know what happened, but we're just gonna keep moving because
Mhm.
we are alive, right?
Yeah, we
I've
love it.
no, I have no idea what happened, but I just patiently waited for it to reconnect. So, I was expressing to you all of how, with societal pressures, with the world being in the state that it's in, this fatigue is very real. It is very real. And
Yeah.
Miss Marcy was making the point about operating in your feminine energy can be a form of release for you, because in your feminine energy you're not trying to figure the world out. In your feminine energy you're not trying to correct behaviors of others that you don't have control of in the first place. And I can tell you, I have a few people in my circle that uh they really go to a point of almost a meltdown over the things that are going on in the world.
Mm,
And I
mm,
say to them, I say, wait, 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 let's stop. Hold on, pause, press the pause button, please. What are you doing? You are only affecting yourself by almost having a meltdown. But I'm so sick of this and this. I said, I hear you. I
mm-hmm.
hear you.
Turn it off.
Turn it off.
Turn it off.
Turn it off. Turn it off. I was looking at my time on social media. You know how restraint is exhausting, right? I was looking at my social media, it tells you screen time. And I see how different my numbers are compared to some time ago, where I had a lot of screen time because I was spending so much time just kind of scrolling. What do they call it? Doom scrolling.
Mm,
But
Mhm.
then I had to think about it. You know, when we say about how you have to watch your ear gate, your eye gate, and your mind gate because of what you allow in, subliminally or not. Even when I go to sleep at night, failing to put the TV on a timer so it can go off, what is being fed into my mind
yes,
as I
exactly.
sleep? You know,
Yeah.
I don't know what's it's TV. I don't know.
And then you wake up
So
frustrated and don't know why.
hello, hello, say that again. So when we are absorbing so much social media, TV, and other people's opinions, and the hate and the spewing of hate, when you are absorbing so much of that, your physical body becomes exhausted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Exhausted. So black black fatigue, because of we're getting it from this direction and that direction and the other direction, and being aware. You made a point earlier, Miss Clivia, about the woman who said to you, you speak so well for a
For a
black
black woman.
woman.
Yeah.
And you made a great point. Maybe she lives in a bubble. I'll give her that.
Right.
But there are so many that use terms such as that aren't in
You're
a
so pretty
bubble.
for a black girl. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
you're
yeah.
you're so this for a black girl,
Mm-hmm.
you're
Mm-hmm.
so that for a
Fill in the
black
blank.
woman,
Yeah.
you're so this for a black man, you're so
Mm-hmm.
that. Why can't I be
Just
just be?
just
Why
be.
can't I just
Period.
be?
Yeah.
Why you gotta be for a black, as if being black makes me less than?
Right.
So you're saying for a black person, I speak well, I walk with authority, or I dress well, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty before, because being black makes you less than? Come on
Yeah.
now.
And producer just put in the chat, even to say, "Oh, you're pretty for a dark skinned girl." What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Define that.
What
Uh,
does that mean? I
I,
did not know
I
I
look
was
at this
dark
way.
skinned until I got to be an adult.
right.
Because my family, we don't do that. We don't talk
Yeah.
about skin tones. And
Yeah.
I've heard about the interracial segregation. I've heard about that. But to say I knew nothing of that until I got to be an adult, I think I was in
Mm-hmm.
my early
20s.
30s when someone
Mm.
said to me, says, "You are beautiful to be so dark." I was like,
Wait now.
"What?" I Can you say that again, please?
Say
I
que.
literally did not know how to take that because my family, we didn't talk about, we still don't talk about skin tones and this
Mhm.
or hair texture. We don't
Mhm.
talk, it's just not a thing for us.
No
And it's
subject.
not an
Yeah.
unspoken understanding. It's just, it's not a thing for us. Skin
Yeah.
tone, hair textures, and things like it's just not a thing. So when I went to the world, got
Mhm.
into the work world and started to hear these things, I was aghast. I'm like, what? So that kind of stuff, constantly being feeling like,
Here
oh
we go
goodness, I got
again.
it. Right, here we go again. I gotta go into this office. And it's like you want to correct them, but it's like, why bother? Why bother? They're
Yeah.
gonna think what they're gonna think. When I say they, I'm not just talking about Caucasian people. People of all kinds of ethnicities see us in a way of being less than,
Right.
and we then have to contend with that.
Right.
And
And
it's
that's always been, and that's always been their insecurity with us. And honestly, as these last two episodes that's been airing, I'm learning so much. Spirit is just like, I'm just, you always learn something here
Yeah. You're
at
getting downloads. Yeah.
yes. But that's their insecurity. So once again, like we were saying, how they say the strong black woman, that's been the stigma that we've had to carry. So as we say these things, we have to realize that their insecurity is what's breaking us down to make us inferior, or try to make
Exactly.
us inferior to their insecurities. And they can go ahead and keep it. Thank
Mhm.
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I have
yeah.
an example of that. I have a friend. She works for a big company. Realizing she traveled just last week. This is recent news, and she didn't realize she was really one out of maybe two black women, right? Not even male, just two black women, everybody else in a whole stadium or whatever it was. And she realized it was like an aha moment. Ah, that's why I was pressured to finish my report. That's why I had to. She was doing so much and she was exhausted and didn't realize why, because she was black. You know what I'm saying? People expect so much from us, not even to say we can do it, but can we do it? Yes, we can. And to know that she showed up as herself, she had to do a presentation, and they applaud her. When you talk about whether it was a standing ovation, because people doubt who we are, we're inventors. We are God's favorite, if we want to put it that way. And people look down on us, and it's not even to say, oh, because we are black, this is why. It's because we are, period.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's
and
because
yeah,
we are and you not, and you're insecure.
Like Miss Dawn
insecure.
just said, the others say all of this while secretly wanting to beat us.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
Insecurity, jealousy,
Hmm.
envy, all the things.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's very evident in wanting our skin tone, wanting our lips, wanting our body shape, wanting our hair textures so they can braid the hair. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that if you want to do these things,
Hmm.
but don't diminish the source from where it came
Yes,
to
exactly.
increase yourself. Because
Yeah.
there are some things that other ethnicities do that I like to do because I just like to do it. But I'm not taking away from you because I like to do what is typically known something that you do.
Like
So
hiking.
exactly,
I
who
want to hike.
it's
Let's
not
hike.
something that's very well known in the black culture, but there's a lot of us that like to hike.
We
A
climbed a
lot
lot
of
of
us that
mountains in the days.
For every mountain.
You brought me over. He saw us through, okay?
Oh
so
man.
so when it comes to this exhaustion, y'all, and it's pretty much on the same vein of what we were talking about, living in our femininity, right?
Hmm.
With this and we call it black exhaustion on purpose. And I want to read something really quickly here. When it comes to black exhaustion, we're referring to the societal pressures to perform, to be, to speak, to everything. I mean, just it comes from societal pressures. It's not your family, because your family, well, in most, they accept you for who you are. Do they expect you to do your best, to do your best? Do they desire for you to do better? Absolutely. But to say that it's a constant, every time I see my mom, it's about, okay, how can you do something better? No, no. Every time I talk to my family, every time I talk to my, no, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the external pressures that are constantly there when I walk out the door. I
Right.
gotta, I gotta suit up and be ready for that when I walk out the door.
Right.
But why must I have to do that?
Right.
Why must I have to do that? So what I wanted to read really quick is, um, what black fatigue is. I pretty much went into that already. The stressors, the buildup, the racial trauma, the emotional level, labor, the strong black woman expectations, the strong black man expectations. It's literally what it looks like is an emotional exhaustion, burnout, and disconnection. And you know what happens as a result of all this? Our health
I was
declines.
just going, yep,
Mm.
yep,
Our health declines,
yeah,
because when you are constantly inundated with all of these expectations, and never mind what you put on yourself, our bodies don't have an opportunity to rest.
yeah.
Our mind don't have an opportunity to rest. Some of us have to take some melatonin to help sleep, because the mind racing all the time about everything. So, because of all the stuff that I put on me voluntarily and involuntarily, I'm unable to just fall asleep at night sometimes. I literally have to get help with that. And that's part of the whole black exhaustion thing. What do you ladies think about that?
Yeah, I was honestly going to touch base on the healthy part of it. We talk about having our show because we gotta show up. So shoulders are high. Relax your shoulders because now you gotta see a chiropractor to relax your muscles and all the things,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's really
Mm-hmm.
just allowing ourselves to rest. And I'm speaking to the choir, right? Because we have to learn how to say no. We got to set boundaries and we have to take care of ourselves and not even, and I
Mm-hmm.
always say, ignore the outside noise, turn it off,
Yeah, yeah.
don't answer, and just block it out because we are our first priority and we don't have to prove anything to
Mm-hmm.
anyone. Show up
Absolutely.
as yourself and do what you can and save the rest for later.
Let me read this really quick. If you don't know if you are experiencing black fatigue, pay attention to this list, because this could be some signs that you are
Mm,
experiencing black fatigue. A present, a lack of a presence of rest, irritability, emotional numbness.
mm,
I'll say that again: emotional numbness, inability to find joy,
mm,
physical symptoms like unable to rest at night, overcommitted to being emotionally balanced.
mm.
I didn't even realize that was a thing.
Right.
Overly committed to being emotionally balanced, and another sign of exhaustion is lack of boundaries.
Right.
Lack of boundaries. Go ahead, Miss Marcy.
That's good. For me, I want to touch on the health part that Kron and Clivia said.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get kicked out of the church after this, but it'll be okay. Especially in the black church. Okay, you talk about living for God, but you eating fatback and collard greens, and your diet is horrible. Okay, you can't rest because you got indigestion. Let's talk about it. Um, but the minute that we talk about let's do it like the ancestors. Let's eat from the garden. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because I think we so like you said, the overcommitment, that's us going to fast food. That's us just grabbing something because I don't feel like cooking. I got overcommitment. I had like Monday, I had 3 meetings. I had 3 meetings
Mhm.
from 6:30 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9:30. Like I did that one night. I said, we're not doing this again.
Mhm.
But just going back to the health part,
Yeah, yeah,
come on now.
yeah, yeah.
Let's get
Okay.
healthy. Let's go to sleep.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Um, and
Amen.
let's eat some green vegetables that can
Amen.
help us with our fatigue. And Kron, for try to take some ashwagandha.
Yes.
Try
Okay.
some ashwagandha. So yesterday I kind of overdosed on ashwagandha.
Overdose.
How you overdose on ashwagandha?
Because I take my oregano oil, ashwagandha at night. Well, I did my regular routine at night, and I bought these gummy ashwagandhas, and I was like, because I like gummies now. I'm into gummies. Don't ask why. So I was like, oh, I thought I was shaking one, but I ended up shaking two. So I ate 2 gummy ashwagandhas, and I had the peel ashwagandha, and
Oh, that's an overdose.
that was overdose. But let me tell you something.
Wow.
That was a good sleep because I was asleep by 8:35 when I
Mm.
woke up. When I woke up, I got to wake up, go to the bathroom. It was 1 something. I was like, "Ooh, I still got three hours to go," and I slept until 3 something, till 4:15 when my
Mhm.
alarm went off.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't done that in I don't know how long.
Mm,
The
mm.
overdose was needed.
So yeah, overdose was needed. So hey, some overdoses are good. Okay, but that because I was tired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
tired. I worked all day and I did 3 meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And with each meeting, I needed to figure out how to rearrange my calendar.
Yeah,
And like, and then was like, oh shoot, after the third meeting, there's 3 things that overlap. So now I got to figure out how to do some things. So, but we're going to go back to the health part
yeah.
of Black fatigue. Some things society has put on us, but
Yeah.
some things we've put on ourselves
Cells. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. So
Mhm.
glad you said that.
that we can straighten out. And honestly, let's when we study what our ancestors did, instead of following everything the colonizers has given us, we can learn how to rest.
Yeah.
I'm reading the comment from our producer. She
What's
says,
your
is that why I keep missing the church cookouts that kicked me out?
Don't worry about it. I've got kicked out several times. I'm like,
Uh,
yeah,
all
I'm
right.
going back until I'm ready to quit.
So let me get into this. As much as we are laughing because we like to laugh and bring some levity to this very serious topic, I want to address the reason why it's important for us to start having the conversations about Black fatigue if we aren't already. All of these societal pressures that we have chosen to take on, because I said it in other episodes that we choose a lot of what we are experiencing,
Right.
as Miss Clivia and Miss Marcy said about choosing how we're going to live, living in the feminine energy, choosing that I'm not going to do 3 meetings in one night. I'm going to do one, maybe two. How we take ownership of how we exist definitely impacts our health.
Yeah.
How we choose, what am I choosing to nurture myself with when it comes to food? How am I choosing my emotional existence? How am I choosing my mental state? Am I taking time to identify that I am in overload?
Yeah.
I am in burnout. Am I taking the time to identify why am I sleeping 8 hours and wake up aggravated, tired, and exhausted? because
Yeah.
that's not normal. That is not normal by any stretch of the imagination.
All
But
right.
sometimes we get into that I gotta just get it done mode. Tony Jones has a song about um um team no sleep, being on team no sleep. That she
Mm-hmm.
says time I'm not doing that anymore. Being on team no sleep, being on team no rest.
Yeah.
Do you ever experience just being totally relaxed?
Mm-hmm.
Being able to sit with your ankles crossed and just be at peace and be
Sing a
so
song.
happy, right? Be so happy.
I want to talk
I'm
about
not,
that.
listen, I'm not doing a thing and I feel good not doing a thing because my body and my mind needs that, right? You talk about the ancestors went to bed when the sun went down.
Mm-hmm.
They was making babies too, but that's another subject.
The ancestors went to bed when the sun went down and woke up when the sun rose.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the world we live in may not support that. But one thing for sure, when I see that I have been up for 18 hours and I've only eaten one time, that's a problem.
Hmm.
When I've gone to bed and I wake up totally exhausted, that's a problem. When I notice that my heart rate is spiked for most of the day, that's a problem. When I don't notice that my heart rate is spiked for most of the day, that's a problem and don't realize until I get have to go to the hospital because I'm passed out because of one reason or the other. Taking ownership of how we are living is hugely important to how we are living. Are you taking ownership of how you feel when you wake up in the morning? I usually wake up in the morning feeling really good. I don't have any aches, no pains, no anything, no headaches. When I get a headache, there's a problem because I don't get headaches. But sometimes I get into that grind. Well, oh man, I need to go take a Tylenol. I got a headache. Instead of me stopping, like, why do I have a headache? That's not, I don't experience headaches. So something is going on internally, whether it's physical or emotional, that's throwing me off and causing a headache. Or it could just be I'm trying to do too much and I need to sit my tail down and rest. But when we don't take the time, y'all, and I'm being very intentional about my tone here. When we don't take the time to identify what's going on with us, this fatigue that we're experiencing will take us out. And that's a fact. It will take us out.
I want to talk about it.
Go right ahead, Miss Clivia.
I am receiving everything you're saying because you're speaking right to me. And I don't plan on being taken out. And like I said in season 2, because if y'all don't know who watching, this is season 3. Yay, season 3. Right. And it has been a journey learning.
Mm-hmm.
And Karan, as we've gotten closer, especially when we were working on that last book project, you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I answered your question. I'll close your laptop. You're done. Close the laptop. And I had to now set, and it goes back to setting boundaries. It goes
Yeah.
back to leaving space open on your calendar, like you mentioned, doing nothing, just sitting, whether you have a patio or in the living room or just sitting on your bed, stare at the ceiling, right? Resting doesn't have to be, yes, we're talking about sleep as well, but
Yeah.
just taking a pause. So
Yeah.
this is, again, me for myself. We understand some people, whether it's the others or some people in general, they have things handed to them, so they may not have to work as hard. I find myself trying to do so that I can make those ends meet, or so
Yeah.
that I can be successful in the business, that one day I know I'll be able to have people that I can delegate A to, B to, C to. But when it's just you, it's like, okay, I got to get this done. I know how.
Mm-hmm.
But now, again, learning every day, it's like, okay, tomorrow, God's willing, it's another day. I can tackle that today. Tomorrow, I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure it out right now, but let me save it for tomorrow. And yes, again, tomorrow's not promised, but
Yeah.
because we know who holds tomorrow, we know
Right.
he's not through with us yet. So I
Right.
can save it for another day. So I'm gonna stop. So I'm confessing to the world, the World Wide Web. I will stop ignoring my snooze. Right when it says it literally went off. I think Marcy, you heard it at 7:57. She giggled because I had to stop my bedtime snooze. So I have two, either to start shutting down at 8 and then start shutting down at least by 9:30. So it's really something that I have to put into practice, that
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be taken out. I have to be here for children. I have to see them grow. Right. And then I also leaving that legacy. I don't plan on leaving my legacy at 40.
Mm-hmm.
I want to continue to build, but to do it with
Right.
wisdom and really take that break
Right.
that I
Ms.
deserve.
Marcy?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, that overdose of ashwagandha was a beautiful. It was a beautiful thing, like Clivia said. And now, Clivia, you, I think you use Sunday. There's a day out of the month. No, it's one day out of the month.
The 21st
Yeah,
of
the
every
21st of every month.
mhm,
Clivia does nothing.
right. I should be
So
doing that.
that's her rest day.
I've been slacking. I've been slacking.
That's okay. Um, but I thought that was amazing. Of course, I
Mm-hmm.
haven't adopted it yet, but I have learned to say no. Like I can't go to every
Hmm.
event. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Right.
Yeah.
at one point in time, I remember Tyrese. I'm always blaming on her, but she and I did 3 events in one day, and then that was when the day of your book launch, K Ron. So we did 3 events together, and then I did an event with K Ron,
Wow.
and then Sunday was at church all day. Well, my all day is 1 o'clock. So there were times when I would not allow myself to breathe. I had to go. I gotta go here. I gotta go here. Somebody asked me to do this. I gotta go here. Um, yeah. Now, what you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm going to the farmers market. I'm picking me up some mushrooms and some apples. I'm come home and wash them, and then I'm staying in the house for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Never, never would I have done that. Like because I messed my knee up, so I can't dance right now. But I've learned even if I did the farmers market, going to dance and then purposely come home. No, I'm not gonna hang out tonight. I'm going home Friday nights. Let me tell you, I used to love to come home Friday nights, put on my pajamas, and watch reruns of Law and Order.
Yes.
My jam. And it still is just come home and just like I said, you don't have to be asleep, but put your mind at
Yeah.
ease. Like you said, that your alarm for you to wind down. Now
Mm-hmm.
I can shut my computer right now and I'll be asleep by in 27 seconds. So I don't have to unwind like that to get to sleep. I guess K Ron started her going to sleep already. Okay, I didn't say to do it in 27 seconds, K Ron. There you go. She took it literally.
Like, okay, good night.
But yeah, but I admire you for doing that, and even when you're not, you saying you slack, but the point that you put it in motion is a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely takes practice. And I mean, for anyone that's listening, really just do it. Right. And it's one step at a time. One step, because everything, I think, what, it takes 7 days to form a habit? One step at a
21,
time.
it's
Yeah.
21.
21.
Yeah.
Okay. 21
Yeah.
days.
Let me share these real quick and thank you guys for holding it down till I can
I
reconnect.
thought I thought you actually
She
took
thought
it
you went to
literally.
bed.
She said, "I'm going to sleep now."
Bye. Bye. I'm going to bed. So, really quick. So, acknowledging that always pushing is not a natural or is it sustainable? Shifting cultural narratives, making rest, self care, vulnerability acceptable, and powerful. Healing as resistance. When communities are constantly under stress, individual healing can ripple outward. So if you are healing, somebody watching you, they're gonna start doing some things that you're doing. Like you just said, Miss Marcy, Miss Cleve, you're taking a day off a month is something that you want to incorporate, right?
Yeah.
So thank you, Miss Char. So it's a ripple effect. Boundaries and permissions. Learning to say what? No will
It's a
protect
full
your
sentence.
energy. Learning to say no. Create literal and figurative spaces, Miss Clivia, where you can decompress what without performance,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
finally, therapeutic support. Therapy, Miss Marcy, counseling, group healing circles, specifically those for Black women, and I'm looking for one of those in my area, are things that we can do to rest from the fatigue, the unending fatigue that we are being inundated with. Is some things that we can do. Now, before we get to those affirmations, I want to get to the reflection points. And Miss Char, if you can bring one up. For our listening audience, these reflection points are intentionally for you to think about the question and how you can answer it in a way to empower yourself. Because just as we
Mm-hmm.
share these affirmations, we want to give you food for thought, something to think about, to incorporate what we're saying into your life, because we're all about living our best lives. So,
Yeah.
with parts of your life, what part, rather, let me start again, can get my words out. What parts of your life feel most drained or overworked? Let's answer that question really quick, ladies. And I can say it right out the gate for me, it's my work life. It's out of balance. It's out of
Yeah.
balance.
Likewise. Likewise. My 9 to 5. It yeah. Yeah. There's so much I could say, but yes, that nine to
Mm-hmm.
five. It's draining.
It's my personal life. And I'm talking about like all my different events because my personal life I got. But all the different events, it's draining.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. With us identifying most part of our life that's drained or overwork, now we got to get to doing the work to bring things into
Mm-hmm.
some level of balance. Again, I don't believe in the 50-50. I don't think it even exists. But to bring some level of balance, if I know my scale is completely tilted over to work, I got to bring that thing back and start putting some personal in there so it can get some kind of balance to it. um
Yeah.
when our, and again, I'm going back to this, our health, y'all, these jobs are great, wonderful, and fine, but you are replaceable. You are replaceable.
Mm-hmm.
How many someone was telling me that their coworker died at work, and before they could even have the funeral, they were replacing her.
Wow.
Think about that.
Wow.
We value these jobs, and I can tell you, I was at a place 18 years and felt, no, I'm sorry, 15 years, and felt like, okay, I'm going to retire from here. Well, they had a different plan for me,
Mm-hmm.
a different plan for me. And I'm thinking about, okay, you done invested so much time, and part of your identity, which I didn't realize, is wrapped up in this place of employment. Now what? Now what? And Miss Marcy saying her personal life. Well, yeah, she already know what she need to do. So, as our listening audience, what have you identified that you need to bring into balance? What's our next prompt, Miss Char? Where do I feel I'm carrying emotional labor? Woohoo! That's not mine to
That's not
bear.
meant to bear. Hmm.
Where are you carrying emotional labor that's not yours to bear?
This is so on time. There was a situation, it happened recently where I took someone in. They were homeless, and the question was, can we spend a night or two? A friend and I decided, let's do it. She was led to do it for 2 weeks, which was too long. And recent last week, the person called and said, and it's her and us, her baby, can I come and spend one night? And I said no. I didn't say no. I said I'm not able to. But then when I found out some more things, my emotions got involved, and I said, I'll pick you up. And there was such a heaviness. This was again literally like a week ago. There was a heaviness to say no, to say I don't have the capacity to do this. And I had to call two people to get some advice, and it was like I was literally emotional. It was that heaviness, like it's okay to say no, but putting myself in her shoe, what if it was me? And I had to have that conversation, and I had to say, right now I need to focus on me and my children. I don't have the capacity to help you in that way, but any other way that I can help, I will. No love lost. And she appreciated me telling her that. She said, thank you so much. I know that you're kind. I know that it's a lot, and I respect your boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay. It was very like, I've never been in any situation like that. And my heart goes out to her because you think about how the world is going, right? And then again, putting myself in that shoe, myself and my children, what if it was us? Who can I call and who can I not be a burden to? But that was definitely something heavy emotionally that I was carrying, that it wasn't mine to bear. And I really had to be okay with saying no and be okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Miss
Yeah.
Marcy?
I have quite a few.
Mhm.
But one I'll say, because I'm here in DC and the government shut down.
Right.
I'm still working. I'm still considered essential. My contract is still going, but so many other people aren't working. And a lot of people have lost their jobs with this shutdown, like contractors. They've removed their jobs, what have you. And I
Mm,
know like one of my brothers has been affected by that. It's not mine to bear because I didn't make the situation, but my heart goes out because I've been on the other side where I've been on a furlough, and luckily I was things were not how they were today. How everything is just wrong. Um and these people who can't feed their families because like there's a lot of contractors that won't get paid period at all.
right.
You know,
Right.
these people can't feed their families. um it's hurtful.
Right.
It and that's my empathic part of me that comes out every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Mm-hmm.
mine to bear, but that hurts.
Yeah.
Period. To know that you
Mm-hmm.
can't provide for your family due to the hands of somebody who wants to take from millions of people to give to 230 people. So yeah.
I have to say, when it comes down to bearing the labor of something that's not even yours, you do have to choose you. You have to choose you.
Hmm.
Bearing, and I look at it this way: me taking on what they are going through is going to help them in any way,
Hmm.
or is it going to harm us, that relationship, by me letting my heart lead me as opposed to my spirit leading me or my
Hmm.
mind leading me? So when I think of it from that perspective, I am able to disconnect emotionally and make the best
Hmm.
decision for me
Right.
unapologetically. Unapologetically, because sometimes we allow people like their sadness or their, to cause us to change our mind.
Hmm.
But when I disconnect from, will me taking on this emotional baggage help them in any way? The answer is no. I disconnect.
Mm.
I make the decision that's best for me because I got so many other things. I got to be very selective about what I take on because I know there's a tipping point.
Yeah.
There is a tipping point, and I don't want to get anywhere close to that tipping point. So I'm being very selective about what I take on and what I don't take on,
Yeah.
what I can do, what I can't do, what I decide that I can do, and making sure that it fits well into what I already have going on. So when it comes to this black fatigue that we are experiencing in this society, I don't know that there's an end to it. No, there isn't an end to it, because it comes in different forms with every decade, right? Choosing you above all things is hugely important. I'll say that again. Choosing you above all things is hugely important, because your health will diminish and you will cease to exist.
Hmm.
We all have a point, but sometimes I believe we get there sooner than we're supposed to,
Yeah.
because we're not taking care of ourselves. That's my thoughts.
Agree.
So, ladies, I'm telling y'all, take care of yourself. I want y'all to tell me to take care of myself.
Take care of
And let's,
yourself, please.
yes,
Yeah.
please. And let's check on each other. Let's check on each other.
Yeah.
Karan, are you eating? Because I know you're doing a lot of stuff going on. Are you eating like you should? Miss Marcy, are you not overdosing on ashwagandha? Are you waking up like like Miss Clivia? You closing that laptop at night because you know you're sleepy anyway. You ain't getting nothing done. Close it. Go to bed.
Look, it's time to wind down.
Let me give you guys a joke. So I'm editing. I just finished publishing someone's book on the first, right? And I was working on two at the same time, and one of them is a friend. You actually met her, Karen, when you visited, and she said, "Girl, I do not need you falling asleep while you're editing my book because all the words gonna be messed up. I need you to rest. Close the laptop." She was like, "Forget my deadline." She said, "We could push it to the end of the year till next." She's like, "Do not be sleeping on my work." I'm like, all right, okay.
Because literally, think about it. We try to force ourselves to stay up and get stuff done. I don't care if you're standing up. It is possible to fall asleep while you're standing. So,
It is.
so let's take care of ourselves with everything that's going
Indeed.
on externally, you all. And Miss Marcy, the government shut down. I try not to think about it too much, because then I do take on that emotional baggage of others. There, we are doing what the best thing that we can do, in my opinion, for everything, particularly that, is to pray for those that are on our heart and mind,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
because
all we can
prayer
do.
changes us and we can change things, right?
Yeah,
Taking care of ourselves no matter what's going on, you all, because once we're gone, that's it. That's the end.
yeah.
The end. And I don't want any of us to rush to that point, because we're failing to check in. We're
Mhm.
failing to slow down. We're failing to rest. Exactly. Exactly. Rest. Get your rest. Take your rest. Rest, y'all. Turn it off. Whatever it is, turn it off.
That's
Go
her.
to bed. Take some ashwagandha. Whatever you gotta do.
Don't take three though.
don't, don't do that, because we have lots to do. We're building legacies. We are making impact. We are serving those who are assigned to us. But let's do it in good health, emotionally, physically, and mentally.
Hmm.
Okay. I think. Oh, we got one more. I'm sorry. We got one more.
I think
One
that's the
more.
same one. That's the
Is
same
this?
one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh,
When was the last time I? Oh, love it. Yes, thank you, producer, coming in clutch. Yes. When was the last time I allowed myself real rest without guilt?
Saturday
When was
morning.
the last time I allowed myself real rest without guilt?
Actually, Sunday. This past Sunday, I decided because we have three services. I was like, I don't have to go 8:30. Don't have to go 10:30. I slept in, did some laundry, took a nap, sat on a patio, watched some rain, which was just very romantic. And I was okay. So I didn't feel guilty about it. I didn't edit no one's book or, yeah. So that was the last time.
Miss Marcy.
Actually, well, I guess my car forced me to get some rest
Mm,
because I'm still having problems after the accident with my car. So I came home Sunday And yeah, I said, you can't go outside. So come on,
Here we
So
are.
it's kind of
put
it was
on,
kind of
girl.
forced on you, right?
So yeah, it was yeah. Uh, it was without guilt, but it was also without yeah,
You
yeah.
didn't really
Options.
choose it. It was forced on you,
There's
but
no
you
option.
accepted it, right?
No option. Unless you have a bike.
Oh no,
But
don't
you
know.
can't with your knee anyway, so
Well,
yeah.
with my latest way of living, I am choosing to rest without guilt. I come home after my travels, take a shower, wash off the travel stuff, and I go to bed.
Hmm.
I go to bed because sometimes I have a 24-hour day because my flight is so early in the morning that I don't go to bed at night. And by the time I get home, I'm in a different time zone. And it's just, I need to rest. I need to rest. My brain functions better. My heart functions better. My whole body functions better when I am rested. When I'm
Show up
forcing
better.
myself to listen, when I'm under the illusion that I am being productive when I'm exhausted doesn't work anymore, it's time for me to do things differently. Because it
Right.
wasn't working from the start. Because I really was in an illusion that I was being productive when I'm falling asleep on whatever task it was I was doing. And got to start the task all over again because I don't know what I was doing while I was asleep. So go to bed. Just go to bed. So, yes, choosing to just rest after my trips is causing me to be in a such better place mentally. It's causing me to physically be in a better place, and I can enjoy life better when I'm
Yeah.
not fatigued, when I'm not so exhausted, when my brain is tired. And I find joy in things more often now that
Yeah.
I'm resting
Yeah.
because it comes easily. I laugh and I have a good time. Me and my son, his stuff, his 20-year-old stuff. Um, yeah, that part. So anyway, let's get to these affirmations, y'all. I need to. Oh wait, there's one more. I keep skipping the reflections, y'all. This live, so that's all right. It's okay. What small boundary can I set today to protect my energy? Okay, okay, okay. So what
Close the
small
laptop.
boundary? Uh, uh, Disregard that one, Miss Char. But what small boundary can I set today to protect my energy? I'm gonna leave that question with our audience. What small, and it doesn't have to be anything great, y'all. It could be something as small as going to bed 5 minutes early
Hmm.
to protect your energy. Nope, I know that phone gonna ring in a few minutes, so I'm gonna put my thing on do not disturb, but I'm going to bed.
Can I
I'm
answer
going to
that real
bed.
quick?
Sure.
I have a friend with that situation that I mentioned a little while ago. I've learned from her, and this is again very recent. She says that's a soft no, not a hard no, but a soft no, a gentle no. And I love that so much, right? Because it's with you saying it with grace. So that's one of the boundaries that I'm gonna start. It's a soft no. Sorry, Marcy. It's a soft no.
Actually, today, because like I said, I've been dealing with this car situation and it's getting out of control. Um, I I had to take when I took the trash out, and I've told you about that my tree, William Edward, right out in front of my condo.
Hmm.
He tapped me as I was going to take my trash out. So when I came back, I was hesitant, but I took off my slipper. I had on flip flops. I just took them off. I grounded, and I was hugging the tree.
Mm, he
Nice.
tapped you on your head.
He
No branch.
the just tapped me. I said, "All right, okay, okay.
Okay.
I got to come and honor you. And I had to leave. Had to leave a lot of that anxiety there at the tree
Ooh.
with my shoes off and allow the ancestors vibration to recharge me from my
Mhm.
feet on up. So yeah.
There's something to grounding, y'all. Won't get into it a lot, but yeah, grounding. There is electricity that runs through the earth,
Real
and
energy.
grounding can connect you to that. and just sitting in that energy, it is so recharging and refreshing. And like Miss Marcy said, you can just release right there and feel so much better. All right, now we're going to get to the affirmations.
Because we've been on this line for hours.
2 hour
Look at
celebration.
here. I deserve space to heal. I deserve space to breathe. I deserve space to be. Exhaustion, it's not my identity.
Amen. That's right.
Look, rest is my birthright. Period.
Period.
I release the pressure to be strong all the time. I am allowed to rest.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
In our scripture, he gives strength, he gives strength to the weary and increase the okay. He gives strength to the weary and increase the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord, so a familiar scripture, I know it did get cut off because of space, but those who wait on the Lord or hope in the Lord shall renew their strength. They will mount up with wings as eagles. They would run and not grow weary. They will walk
Mhm.
and not faint. And that's Isaiah 40, verse 29 to 31. Amen.
Amen. We have been here for a minute, y'all. This is our 1 year anniversary, and thank you for those that have joined us. I know some had to go, but thank you for joining us. These two topics were our anniversary topics, and they were
Yes.
heavy topics, but necessary topics. This
Yes.
is our season 3, I think it is, right, Miss Clivia? Our
Yes,
season
ma'am.
three.
Season three.
She keeps track of all that for me because I'm not good at that type of thing. So you find somebody who's good at that, right? So season 3, 1 year anniversary. Thank you for tapping in with us, even if you had to go. Thank you for visiting with us. If you haven't already followed us, make sure you do. Turn on the alarm because season 3 has begun. So new episodes will be dropping. Thank you for being with us. And before we go, what is that thing we say, Miss Clivia, at the end of every episode? What is it?
You are your first priority. So act like it.
Amen.
And
Amen.
subscribe.
Oh,
Hey.
oh, oh, that gotta
Subscribe. Oh,
subscribe. Make sure you
subscribe.
subscribe. It's right there. It's right there. Subscribe, y'all. Okay. That with that being said, thank you all and peace and blessings to you all. Until next time.
Thanks for watching.